Right, welcome back to Stray Light Gaming after a brief hiatus for a bit of illness. I am Count Zero, your host. I'm back playing Where the Water Tastes Like Wine. And let's get right into it. Share this bus stop with an old man who shifts from foot to foot, thumbing his suspenders and watching the passing traffic with anxious focus. "Hey," he blurts, suddenly turning towards you. "You want to hear a good story?" With the air of a man who's distracting himself from something, he stumbles quickly through a tale about the cloud tinged with a color no human has seen before, confusing himself now and again, backtracking, adding new details out of order. You barely piece the story together. Part of my voice, I am still a little congested. Just had picked up some kind of bug this week, not sure what that was. So, my apologies. You suddenly realize he's told you a twisted version of the story about the light from the sky, but massively changed with whole new chunks you don't remember. "It's true," the old man insists, turning his wincing eyes back toward the road. And with that, the conversation seems over. Alright, let's find some tales over here, some new ones. What do we got here?
Timber! You hear the splintering crack of old growth breaking. A tall, broad man looms in the clearing. He casts a shadow almost as long as the trees. A handful of other men gaze at him with admiration. A slate-blue bull stands to the side, slowly chewing on a patch of grass. "God damn!" shouts the second largest man, scratches his beard. "Come on, stranger, give it a shot. Try your arm against old Paul here." He gestures to an axe lying atop a jagged stump. A couple laughs flow through the crowd.
Well, this narrator's voice really makes mine look terrible, doesn't it? He's very good.
You strike out at a reedy spruce. The axe thwacks into the trunk and roots there. You wrench it out and swing again. Your rhythm is shattered by wood splintering. Your opponent has just cut through two thick evergreens growing close together in one fluid movement.
Well, come on, I mean, you can't just give up, you know. It's Paul Bunyan. Can't back down.
Thwack, thunk, thwack. The huge lumberjack is cutting a circle around you, barely stopping to let one tree fall before he strikes another. The bearded man shakes his head, watching with amusement. Another lumberjack claps him on the shoulder. At last, your tree falls. The bearded man steps forward and shakes your hand. "Don't feel bad. No one can match him. I'm not even sure he's human." He looks at the woodcutter, now scratching the ox's ears. "You gave it your best. That counts for something."
So somehow, My headset mic seems to be picking up sound even though when I have it muted. Okay, now it seems to be working properly. Okay.
The creature looms in an evergreen clearing, blood spattered around its maw, one enormous paw still buried in the flesh of the man sprawled beneath it. The grizzly spots you. Even at this distance, you can see its yellowed fangs. Slowly, deliberately, it begins to advance on you.
Okay, well, if my knowledge serves me correctly, the way to appease a grizzly is to play dead. So we're gonna play dead, because otherwise I'll just be up a tree all day.
You drop to your knees, curling into a ball. The only noises you can hear are your breathing and the bear's warning grunts. The bear's rancid breath is hot on your neck as it sniffs you. After what feels like an eternity, it wanders away. You remain still as the light fades. Eventually, you dare to move. It's just you and the dead man in the clearing. It looks dressed for a day foreclosing property, not trudging through the forest. The company here is unsettling, with him dead and you playing so.
Okay. Went from an interesting Paul Bunyan story right back to a nice dark murder bear story. Fantastic. Okay, well, since I can't walk across, you know what? Let's see if we can get a ride across this bridge, shall we? Oh, dude. Oh, thanks, bro. Oh, what am I thinking about? There's a campfire here. I gotta do the campfire before I go across the river.
Well, hey there. What's happening, stranger? Pull up a seat if you want to share.
Alright, she's new.
I guess my deal is pretty clear. You probably see 100 long-haired, bangle-wearing freaks on the road every day. We're the only ones still hitching around, I guess. Bummer, because this is a beautiful place when you take the time to smell the flowers, huh? You know, I'd love to hear a really good, scary story.
Oh, I think I got a few scary stories. Just heard one about a scary bear, didn't I? Well, actually, the White Rider. That's a scary story. Well, yeah, we'll do the White Rider. That's a scary.
Oh man, that's
spooker.
really good.
Yeah.
Good and scary, I mean.
Just don't ask me for any funny stories, lady.
Heaven. When I heard about the scene in San Francisco, it seemed like it must be heaven. But when I got there, it was over. Heaven lasted a summer, I guess. So, got any good, hopeful stories? Anything about what the world should be?
Oh, I got one or two of those floating around. Let's see. No. Strictly positive news around. Positive views around Omaha. No. That might do. Let's see. Positive. Hopeful stories. No. Oh, actually, the Lost Ring. Okay, let's try the Lost Ring. It's actually a happy story, but
Oh, that's good.
Oh, okay, good. That one worked.
I'll share that one when I get back home.
Cool.
And luck. That's what got him. The lottery is how they decided. My brother was born December 12th, and that was his unlucky number. They spun that drum, and out came his whole life. Spilling out in that jungle. Anyway, you got any good hopeful stories about the world becoming a better place?
Oh, I might have one more. Might I? Let's see. No, not the boy who died in the fields. We got here. Elegant woman in the small town of near Portland. Hopeful. No, that's not really hopeful. Pigeon keeper. No. Oh, here's a good one, right? The lighthouse. Okay. This should work.
Oh, that's a
Yes.
good one.
All right.
You gotta tell me more about those folks sometime. My past. Well, my parents didn't abuse me or anything. We just disagreed. We still do. I mean, I assume. So anyway, got any good ghost stories? Anything scary or weird?
Ooh, ghost stories, I have a plenty. A plenty, my friend. That's not a ghost story. That's not a ghost story. Odd silent taxi cab might be a ghost story. No. I thought I had ghost stories. Oh, come on, I know I got a ghost story. The Devil of Leeds. Ooh. That's a scary story, but maybe not a ghost story. How about the ghost? There's a ghost story of the well-heeled hobo.
Sounds like we're on different grooves with that joke stuff.
Oh, I guess that's a funny story.
Traps. Yeah, I felt trapped, stifled, unable to grow or blossom at home. The first time I ever felt free was on my way to San Francisco on the Greyhound. $32 in my jeans and a daisy plucked from the parking lot in my hair. So anyway, got any good ghost stories? Anything scary or weird?
Alright, you know what? We're gonna go with the devil story. The devil goat. The devil of Leeds. Where is it? Is it here? Yes. This is gonna scare the pants. This is gonna scare the dirt right off of you, hippie. Oh, that was terrible. That was a terrible
Oh,
thing to say.
wow, that's scary stuff. You are really good at telling these.
She's being so nice, and I insulted her. I'm a terrible person.
Talking about sadness. I didn't even know what sadness was until I heard James had died. I had been angry before. Petulant, pouty, heartbroken. But that was all so thin compared to what I felt when I knew he was gone. Well, there it is. And I feel like I've been doing all the talking.
What? I've been telling you stories all night, lady.
But the sun's coming up soon, so I gotta get ready to go. Heard some interesting stuff about a group of folks getting by up this way. And where are you going? What's your deal, Seeker? What's the future hold for you?
What does the future hold for us? That is an excellent question. We shall see. Adieu, Rose. Alright, let's see if we can... You know what? Let's just cross the river. We got these terrible drivers. We'll just cross here. Point. And wha-bam! pace. And head on into Seattle proper. Okay, so looks like we have a tail here, campfire. Give me 1 second here. Just a minute. Alright, looks like I'm going to need to contact Twitch because since I have set up my multi-stream, my dedicated Twitch chat doesn't seem to be working. And the multi-stream is read-only, which is fine, I guess. Okay. Back to it. Alright, let's go. Let's see how this tail has grown. This kind of the old man sharing the shade under the bridge with you tells a few rambling stories. Some true seeming, some conspicuously less so. All true, he assures you. There's history in this place, going all the way back to Indian times. Strange stuff happens round here. Sure it is, he scoffs. And then, as if to prove himself right, he launches into a story about the Jersey Devil. And this one, you know, it's the story of the Devil of Leeds, but wilder and stranger than you remember. See then, the old man laughs. So I ain't pulling your leg. It's all true. Okay, Jersey Devil. And let's go ahead and hit up this campsite. See what we got here. August.
You see me here? You think you know me? I didn't start out in the gutter. I was raised right. Mama taught me to read off the Bible. But I'd save up my nickels for the collection plate and buy story rags instead. That smell of wood and paper. But you tell me, what's the wildest thing you've seen on the roads out here? Anything good and exciting?
Okay, an exciting story for this gentleman. Do, 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 do. Still the fortune teller and the curse? No, that's not exciting. Exciting. What about the bridge builders? I don't know if this is going to work, but let's see. That's sort of exciting.
Ooh,
Okay.
tell another like that and you could write a good rag.
Fantastic. Thank you.
I did my chores, said my prayers every day. I was a good boy. But in those rags, I was free. I could be whoever I wanted. But you know, the books I miss the most is the hopeful ones. Got any of those?
Alright, what was hopeful? Was the Lost Ring. Okay, I'll tell him that one.
Well, that one sure makes me smile. My fate was cast the moment I first read those story rags. First time I bought one, I used an extra nickel I found on the ground. If I hadn't, I'd have wasted my nickel on hard candy. So I miss them blood-pounding adventure stories. You got any like that?
Adventure, you say, sir? Adventure. That's not an adventure story. Okay, let's talk about the killers on the streets in Chicago.
Sounds like one of the bad, soppy ones I used to read.
Nope, that one he didn't care for.
Well, we're talking about the rules. My daddy hated those rags. He whipped me good. Told me hard work's the only way to survive in this world. No use living in my head. Anyhow, you got any stories that end looking up? I miss those hopeful ones.
Hopeful, right? We got the lighthouse. This is the hopeful story in my
Leaves a
collection.
warm feeling in your chest, huh?
You sure it's not the goods you got here that's leaving that warm feeling in your chest there, sir?
When it comes to the past, I remember those stories better than what I did yesterday. Right now seems to slip away, but the past never leaves me. So I miss them blood-pounding adventure stories. You got any like that?
Adventure again, you say. Adventure. The monster and the maelstrom. You know what? We'll try the monster and the maelstrom, shall we? That's probably going to be more of a scary story.
My
Oh, it
blood's
worked.
pumping.
Okay.
That's the kind I used to like as a boy. Our home. We lived in a little house in town, but the fields were never too far away. When my daddy'd run me out of the house, I'd beat it out to those fields and play cowboys and Injuns, or jump from a tree like a flyboy. My daddy wanted me to quit reading them rags. Said it kept me from hard work. Got his wish, but he didn't get hard work instead. Anyway, I'm headed out this way when the sun comes up. I like your tales. Hope we cross paths again.
Very good, sir. We'll be seeing you. Okay, so now we're another tale told in the grows in the telling. Ooh, pardon my stumbling. This man can barely wait to get through the pleasantries before asking if you've heard this story. 110% true, he says. I heard it from my nephew, and it happens to someone he knows well. Well, okay. Man launches into his telling. It's polished. He's obviously done this many times before. It tells you the story of the whole group of boys who worked themselves to death in a cornfield. You recognize the bones of it from your experience of the boy who died in the fields, where no one could be called to collect his body. It's been embellished in the interim, though. Afterwards, you thank the man and move onwards. You'll have to remember that version, even if it's not quite what happened. It's a good story. Okay, let's step on in Seattle. Head over to the Cape there after we get out of Seattle. I don't need health, and I don't need any rest. So let's do some exploring.
On top of a hillside boxcar, 4 men in sailors' clothes fix their eyes on the distant waterfront, where a crowd of hundreds clashes with uniformed cops. From this far, the sound resembles some loud, tenacious animal. After a while of silence, one of the men responds. You notice his bruised eye. Waiting on the police to deal with those strikers so we can get back to work. The man clenches his fists. Hey, mind your damn business. One of those bastards dragged me off the pier and... The police open fire into the crowd. As the shots ring out, the character of the sound changes altogether into terror and pain. Well, fuck this. Bye. No point dying for a day's work. The man crawls to the edge of the boxcar and hops off. The sound of gunfire continues all across the port, but the dense picket line remains unbroken.
Okay. Alright, so we're good here, so we'll go ahead and moving on. Let's head out to this cape. Check out this lighthouse. Oh look, there's over there. There's another camp. Let's go ahead and speed this up a little bit. With a little whistling. Story right here. So what we got here.
Bang! The screen door clangs in the wind. Downstairs, you hear low murmurs. The wind again? Or voices? You were sure this house was deserted. In the living room, 2 young women are entwined atop a sleeping bag. One has her hands tangled in the other's bright red hair. I can't believe we found another haunted house. The red-haired girl laughs. A floorboard creaks under your feet. Is it a ghost? One yells. The red-haired girl has jumped up between you and her companion, but relaxes her stance at your words. Well, if you're talking, you probably aren't a ghost, the blonde says. The red-haired girl looks to her, and then back towards you. What are you doing here?
Should we be a wise guy to these smiling young ladies? Question them? Nah.
We're driving around, but Sam made us pull over for another night in a haunted house. Sam squeezes her hand. Come on, this is cool. There are probably bats in the attic. Your presence is not unwelcome, but the two only have eyes for each other.
Aw, how nice. Alright, 2 girls in the haunted house. Interested to see what that turns into. Let's check out the lighthouse.
The lightning starts in the next valley over. Then the wind picks up. The long grass hisses, and suddenly it's raining so hard you can barely breathe without a hand over your mouth.
What just happened?
The lightning momentarily illuminates a farmhouse on the opposite hilltop, the only one for miles. Much closer, though, is a silhouette of a dilapidated barn.
Oh, well, I guess we're going for the barn, right?
It's mostly dry here. Perhaps that's why every corner of the barn has a soaked, silent traveler crouching in it. 15 or 20 of them, all staring in your direction, all blinking, all curiously dressed in the same brown coat. One silently points you to a spot of your own.
That's a little creepy. They all got the same coat on, but I'll rest here with these gentlemen.
They scurry back and forth across the floor of the barn all night long, whispering to one another. When you wake, it's late, and every single one of them is gone, along with some of your cash.
They robbed me. Alright, that's the first time I've been robbed in the game, but okay. I think it's the first time I got robbed. Oh, there, I got it back. Two musicians beckon you over. Oh, I've seen that. I've done this one already. Billy, split. Our show's in 5 minutes. Play the upright bass. You don't. Doesn't matter. Keep plucking. This string. Look, we'll pay. Fake it for a couple songs, feeling like an idiot. But hey, you get paid. Take it. Alright. So that wasn't really a story. As much as just a little cash opportunity. Okay, let's move it on, move it on, move it on. Let's see, is he gonna drop me in Seattle? Probably, right? We're gonna keep going past Seattle, aren't we? Oh, come on, don't tell me I'm stuck in the middle of Seattle. Okay. Alright, so I'm still good here. Okay. And we're gonna keep heading. Where are we going? East. Headed to Spokane. So this is essentially the gameplay loop. I don't know yet. I haven't really done any research. I just kind of started playing this game. So I don't know what the overall objective, if there is one. Let's see if I can find a little something out. I need to open this up anyway. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and put this over here. Like so. Oh, good. All right. So that's good. I'm up on Facebook. Am I up on YouTube? Does not look like I am live on YouTube. Oh, I am live on YouTube. Fantastic. Okay. Alright, so that's good. I'm up on Facebook. Am I up on YouTube? Does not look like I am live. And now I'm getting feedback. Okay. Oh, I am live on YouTube. Fantastic. Okay. Alright. Well, feedback. Okay. I was going to look something up to see if there was some kind of overarching story for this, but we'll pass for now. The policeman in the truck on this corner is having a pretty wild argument with someone on the other end of the radio. No, he keeps saying, no way. Listen in as the man on the radio finishes a wild story about the killer pigeons. feedback again. No, he keeps saying, no way. Listen in as the man on the radio finishes a wild story about the killer pigeons. Okay, I'm getting feedback again. No, he keeps saying, no way. Okay, I think I took care of that. I swear this is what happened. The cop over the radio insists. That's when it clicks. You know this story. It's a stranger version of the story of the pigeon keeper, but with some bits left out or replaced. Ain't true. Cop on the truck sighs. If only he knew. Yes, there were blood on the beaks of those pigeons. Maybe they were killer pigeons. What do we got here? Search.
The woman finds you as you wander the streets. Come with me, child, she says, looking you up and down. We're going to church.
Probably not the safest place for me to go, but hey, let's go.
You follow her to a simple clapboard building. There's no steeple, but a cross is painted on one side. Inside, you sit for what seems like years as the preacher drones on about the various virtues expected of his faith. Brevity is not among them, apparently.
Okie dokie. Alright, I was going east. Okay. Alright, I see a story opportunity here. Well, let's just keep going this way. We need to check out the northeast first. Let's take a look at the map, shall we? Got nothing on my map. Oh, I got the hippie down here. It's quite a ways away. Alright. Maybe we'll find something new over yonder here. Oh yeah, let's see what's up this way. Oh, and there's nothing over this way. Oh, now I'm getting tired. I need some rest. I don't think I can cross into Canada. And that is the border. This game is strictly domestic. Okay. Oh, I'm gonna need some rest here soon. Alright, let's head over to this barn then. That's the only thing in miles. That looks to be a destination right now. Oh, and then we got another one down here. Okay, so we got a little something here. Let's search this little barn.
You pass a meadow where migrants have made a campsite. It's been trampled to pieces, A few families are fleeing, running as fast as they can back up to the roadside. An enormous bull stretches himself beside some of their squashed supplies.
We're gonna go ahead and leave
The
that.
bull locks an eye with you and blinks long and slow. The closest thing to a cow threat you've seen in your life. You leave him as spoils.
Yeah, of course. We're gonna try to steal from the bull. Bears terrorizing travelers, and I got bulls terrorizing travelers. Alright, let me take a rest up in this little house, please. A little search here. Yes, there we go. This half-finished house provides good shelter from the wind, and the construction workers are already packing up their tools for the day. One of them sees you sneaking in, but just gives you a wink. Try the basement, he suggests. His advice is good. You find a spot for a long, cool rest. Fantastic! Oh, look at this. I'm not going to be able to get over this mountain range, I'm almost certain. Let's see. Alright, it looks like I can get around it. We'll do the whistling thing here. Alright. Oh, and we have another tail. Nice little bonus tail sitting here.
A bus roars up on the road behind you and slows to a crawl at your side. Inside, you can barely see people moving, dancing, swaying. Strings of lights, strange smoke.
More hippies.
Want a ride?
The driver calls. Before you can open your mouth, a huge hairy hand like an animal's paw lands heavy on her shoulder. Not this one, a voice growls, so deep it vibrates your rib cage. The driver shrugs, leaves you in a cloud of perfumed exhaust.
Okay, almost definitely hippies. Okay, strange bus. The magic bus. Okay, so now, do I want to go to that story, or do I want to go to this campsite? You know what, there's a story down that way too, so we're going to go to this story first, and then we're going to turn back around and head to the campsite and those other stories. Helena, Washington. If I'm not mistaken, I'm still in Washington. Oh, let's see this tale that has grown in the telling. This bar is crowded with people from every walk of life. Businessmen, young men in muddy overalls, and a crowd of girls in slinky dresses, preparing their blood alcohol content for a night on the town. But the squat, sharp-eyed man in the fedora who catches your attention. He launches into a wild story about the aristocratic ghost doomed to mingle with hobos for eternity. Halfway through he stops, recognizing the look on your face. You know this one. You tell him the story about the ghost of the well-heeled hobo. That's it. I think I like mine more. More exciting. Oh, I don't know. So that's why I'll keep telling it my way, he says. Let's get another round and do a competitive test on the other folks here. Shall we? By the end of the night, the whole bar agrees the new version is better. Might be because your new friend has bought them all drinks. Okey-dokey. What do we got here?
Here's a derelict school building. Shutters nailed shut. Wind-drifted dunes piled against the walls. Broken desks lined up in the basketball court. While you rest on the front porch, the doors open, and someone gives a startled yelp. He's an older man, tidy and unshaven, carrying a toolbox in one hand and brandishing a broom in the other. "Don't squat here," he growls. "We're not abandoned."
Well, let me tell you what. No maintenance man's gonna scare me away. No disrespect to maintenance men. That's actually my full-time job.
He gives you a hard look, but relents and joins you in the shade. "I used to teach here," he says, staring off across the baseball diamond. "Now they just pay me to keep the roof up."
Did he take money from me or did I get money? I don't think I can check. Okay. Alright. Now, where was that campfire? Now, time for the whistling game. Since there are no roads that are going that way. Where we're going, we don't need roads. Roads? We don't need no stinking roads. Campfire. Who is this? Oh, it's the hippie girl. Okay. Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and collect these two stories right here before we visit her. Oh, and then we have. Oh, let's take this one too. This kindly old man sharing the shade under the bridge with you tells a few rambling stories, some true seeming, some conspicuously less so. Oh, yeah, I read this one earlier. All true, he assures you. There's history in this place going all the way back to the Indian times. Strange stuff happens around here. Sure it is, he scoffs. As if to prove himself right, he launches into a story about the talking seagulls who tell fishermen where to find the best catch. And this one, you know, it's the story of the fisherman and his fish calling seagulls, wilder and stranger than you remember. See then? The old man laughs. So I ain't pulling your leg. It's all true. Alright, go with the telling. Search here.
Two brothers stroll up to you in the street, wearing identical scowls and identical steel-toed boots. One spits in front of you. "Don't stay in town overnight," the other says. "No vagrants after dark."
Well, who are you? Who are these guys? You gonna come and spit at me? Gonna tell me not to go into town? You want me to sleep on the road? Nah, I'm going into
You
town.
hide in an alley, but around midnight you're woken by bright lights and a rain of boots. As they hurl you back onto the road, you catch two familiar faces in the crowd. This time, smiling.
Alright. I'll take it. There's a story out of it. Oh boy, looks like the same little picture. These two fine young gentlemen.
Two men, identical, stand sentry over a third body half covered with a canvas sheet. "Might as well grab a shovel, being that you're here," the man in front says. When you hesitate, he makes an appeal to your Christian charity. You and John dig a hasty grave while his brother stands back, keeping a lookout. Closer now, you see the corpse shares their face. "Tom was the oldest by an hour," John says. "Oh, I guess George and me, We got a few hours on him now. Mean son of a bitch. Beat the life out of us. Did it our folks that way. Got to be too much, so last night we said we'd do him in. George dragged him out here to do it. I would have helped, you know, but George is a strong one out of me and him. Thank Jesus Tom's gone. I thought I'd have trouble saying that, but I don't. John squints at the body, then freezes. Wait, Tom's nose wasn't bent like that. Despair floods his face. He looks ready to throw up. You leave him to it.
Oh, I like that. Did the mean twin get the better of the two younger ones? Alright. What was her name? Rose? Yep.
Well, hey. Groovy to see you again. I guess I spilled it all about my childhood last time we talked. If you want to hear about the good old days and the hate, I can tell you something about that maybe. But I want a good story in trade.
I got plenty of good stories to trade, Rose.
I share, you share, dig?
I dig.
So, you seen anything really hilarious out here?
Funny story, funny story. I have a funny story. She already knows the lost ring. These are not funny. No. Oh, here's a funny story. Tell the story of the mischievous ghosts.
Ha! Ah, you got a groovy sense of humor, stranger.
Why, thank you, Rose.
Traps didn't catch me. I dodged the snare of the hard drugs, thank God. Found someone who gave me grass and acid before I found the ones pushing the pills and the needle. Otherwise, maybe I'd still be there, huddled in a doorway. Anyway, you got any good, hopeful stories about the world becoming a better place?
Yeah, see, that's the tough part. You remember the stories. Possibly the women communing with wood spirits, maybe. World becoming a better place. This will do. I mean, I'll try that one if I can't find something better, but I'm gonna have to go with. I don't know if this one's hopeful anymore, because this actually started as a hopeful story because they found each other, but I think it twisted into something that is not as quite as hopeful. Alright, let's try the elegant woman in Portland.
Come on, don't be a drag. That's not true.
Wow.
Sadness. I wasn't sad so much as... Why couldn't you wait a little longer? The wave had come and gone and just left junk tossed up on shore. But anyway, let's keep it grooving. Tell me something funny.
stories for you, Rose. I'm sorry. Killer pigeons. Cassidy. I don't think Cassidy's verse is funny, but we'll try it. Oh, it is funny. Ah! I forgot. I gotta put
Oh,
Cassidy on,
yeah,
okay?
that's a good one.
Alright, just don't ask me for another
And
one.
I fell in love, sure. I was ready for it. Ready for love with a capital L. I found a cat with long hair and a bus and a friend on the Dead's road crew. We hit the road not too long after. But of course it didn't last.
Of course.
So anyway, got any good ghost stories? Anything scary or weird?
Ooh, sure I do, my dear. Scary. Oh, that's just sad, I think. Scary. Oh, let's try the fortune teller and the curse.
Oh, wow, that's scary stuff. You were really good at telling these. And luck did have
Oh, I
everything to
didn't get
do with
the
it,
eye
yeah.
open.
Maybe it was the only time that could have happened. Maybe the stars aligned just right. But I have to believe it's possible. That we can all get along and love one another. It wasn't just luck. You know, I'd love to hear a really good, scary story.
Alright, one more chance to get that eye open. I definitely have scary stories. Idol guarded by a talking snake? Nah. Oh, let's go with a real good scary story. Tell us cloud tangible. Yeah, that's okay, this one's creepy.
Oh man,
There we
that's
go.
really good. Good and scary, I mean.
That's gonna be
It
the end
sounded
of
like heaven. Everyone coming together. A true community. Helping each other. Love. Expanding consciousness. Stopping the war. It was all there. Well, I gotta get going. Well, keep it grooving, friend. Life's short, so you gotta love the time you're given. I'm still sad I missed the summer. And I think I always will be. But I've been trying to find some of that feeling for myself. Trying hard for a long, long while. Look, I'll tell you about it some other time. I'm going this way. Maybe we'll run into each other again.
Why am I tired? Oh, no, I'm not tired. I need help. Ciao. Alright, let's hear this story tale. Let's see how this one is growing in the telling. After gossiping for a while about the weather and the crops and the state of the world, all bad and getting worse, he takes a different tack. You look like someone who's got a good story, he wheezes. Try this one on for size. After loudly and repeatedly clearing his throat, oh, this sounds like me. He tells you the story of the newspaper that found the positive side of the dust storms. Sounds a lot like the story of the newspaper reporter with strictly positive views, with some parts changed and other parts added. When he grins up at you at the conclusion of the tale, you give him the effusive praise he's apparently expecting. You'll have to remember that version, even if it's not quite what happened. It's a good story. Will do. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and stop here in Boise. Actually, we're gonna be right outside of Boise. Excuse me, and we're gonna call it for the day. Yeah, it's gonna be dinner time. I have to get up early for work, and still feeling a little under the weather myself. But I did want to try to get back to some streams, get some videos up. You know, oh, somebody's here. Whoa, how about that? Somebody came to join us. I just noticed it. Oh, wow. All right, well, thanks for coming by here. I appreciate that. Sorry I didn't notice you before. But, yeah, I hope you enjoyed Where the Water Tastes Like Wine. I am definitely enjoying playing it. Not a very high action game, but a very interesting nonetheless. It's nice to play something a little different from time to time. I hope to continue playing it, and I hope you enjoy it too. Again, thanks for coming by Stray Light Gaming. I have been your host. My name is Count Zero.